easier. You see, most people look at technology as a convenience, but for persons with disabilities, it's an enabler. And AI is only making it better. Take, for example, me. My eyes refuse to see, so I have to look for other ways. And I see through technology. So what better way than to have young people who are using AI or championing for the adoption of AI in assistive technology and accelerating digital accessibility to promote disability inclusion in Africa, to have them on stage to actually show us how they do that and how they're able to integrate all this into their daily life. So before I go to my panelists, I want to demonstrate. So as you can see on stage, we have diverse disabilities. I represent the dark side. Okay, the blind. We have cerebral palsy. That's Kihembo from Uganda. We have Mark Mungai representing, the reduced motor ability, physical disability. We have Adwoa, and we'll get to know what AI tools they use on a daily. I can attest that for me, I use more than 5 apps, and they're all incorporating AI. But today, I'll only demonstrate on one main one, and then I'll urge most of you to be volunteers on another one. So you allow me to show, I don't know if you'll see. So the app I'm about to launch is called Seeing AI.
Messages, edit, button.
You can all hear.
Messages, 500 messages. Double tap to search, page 1 of 4, adjustable.
So even before I open the app, what you hear is a screen reader. For blind people, screen reader makes it easy for us to navigate through the phone and to be fully independent on usage of the phone. It's an accessibility feature. For iPhone, this is VoiceOver. And for Android, you have TalkBack.
Then double tap to activate.
So this is a product of one of our partners, Microsoft.
Page 1 of 4, adjustable. Activate to open page 2 of 4. Page 3 of 4. Seeing AI. Extras folder. Seeing AI. Double tap to open.
Right on the money. So this is Seeing AI. It's in the name. There is AI in the name. And it's a virtual camera that opens up. And for whatever reason, it has different channels. There is a channel for short text. You can hear.
29-year-old man with black hair looking. 29-year-old man with black hair looking happy.
What did you hear? So this is a picture I took of Kihembo earlier on. He was smiling at the camera. I don't know if that captures. And it describes, it tells me his approximate age. I don't know if it's lying. I cannot see his age. And it tells me that he's smiling at the camera. So I'm going to close that.
Channel, person, adjustable. Swipe up or down with one finger to adjust the value.
The channel I'm on is person. So let me try to take another picture. I'll use my panelist as the dummy. Adwoa, smile for the camera.
One face near center, one face near top edge, zero face, one face near center, zero faces. One face near center, 1 meters away. One face near top edge, 1 meters away. Take picture, button. Take picture, processing. Cancel,
So it's
button.
processing. So it says no people could be detected. This might be lighting or the angle that I'm taking the photo. Let me see if we can take from the crowd.
Take picture, button. Take picture, button. Processing. Cancel, button. No people could be.
So there are no people ahead of me. Are there people? So it's telling me no people. But the whole idea behind it is it needs to focus to get a face so that it can give an accurate description, like what you've seen with Kihembo. He told me the ears, his smile, and I'll come back to it. But the other
Channel, person,
channels.
Swipe up scene, preview.
So there's a scene preview.
Take picture. Button. Processing. Cancel. Button. A group of people sitting in chairs in a room.
Ah, this is what I should have used. So it's a group of people sitting in chairs in a room, right? Is that correct? Yes, we don't have wild animals here. Then there's another channel.
A group of people sitting in chairs in a room.
So I go to the other channel.
Channel. Scene. Preview. Adjustable. Product.
There's product, and now it's trying to scan for products. You're not products. For this one, I use when I'm shopping to know expiry date of different products and to know exactly what ingredients. I'm a cook, a blind chef. Sometimes I burn the house down, but it survived so far. And here I am. So there's a product, there's document. So if I have a document, like a full pager, it will take a snapshot. And I know our partners, Google, have Lookout, which has the same feature to read documents. And there's short text. So that gives, again, short descriptions. So I want to go around my panel to show quickly with which AI tools that they use. Adele, I'm saying it right.
No.
Adele. Okay.
You know what? Just call it AJ.
Oh, AJ. Okay, thank you very much. So which AI tools do you use?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Before I answer his question, first of all, I would have to describe to you my kind of disability. I do have cerebral palsy with mild or severe speech impairment. Now, what we do not know is the fact that we have what we call standard speech and non-standard speech. Standard speech is what, what my brother here would be able to say, and then they can easily transcribe it easily. But non-standard speech is mechanical speech. You can see that as it is being transcribed, there's a mistake. My voice is not audible enough for most people. And so, as a person living with speech impairment and also cerebral palsy, or maybe you could say a neurodivergent disorder, I'm also a lawyer by profession, and I'm now currently the country lead for Ghana for a UK NGO, whereby we deal with funding for OPD in Ghana, Tanzania, and Uganda. So currently, that is exactly what I'm doing now, and that is exactly my kind of disability. So, because of my challenge, I wasn't able to practice for almost 3 years after my bar exam, because, the legal profession is very conservative. Sometimes you go to the courtroom. I remember my first time, when I went to the courtroom, my judges could not hear me. They couldn't understand the words I was speaking. So I just had to cut short my practicing of the law in Ghana, and then just move on to advocacy for disability inclusion in my country, and as well as Africa, for that matter.
Yeah.
Now, with my assistive device, it came through, I think about two or 3 years ago, from University College of London and Google. Now, I'm not talking about Google Assistant, because most of these apps cannot pick up the ups and downs of my voice. They wouldn't be able to transcribe my voice audibly enough. No matter what I do, sometimes you pay exorbitant prices just to have your voice transcribed or be heard. So, Google, in collaboration with UCL and also the Global Disability Innovation Institute, also in London, came up with what we call Project Relay. Now, the difference between Project Relay is that Project Relay allows you to be able to record sentences in your voice. So, for instance, I can record let's say 7,000 words, and it is actually able to, follow the pattern of my voice.
Yeah.
Whereby the ups and downs of my voice, so that when I speak, it knows what I'm trying to say. For instance, I think in my earlier session I made mention of this, that I was traveling alone from JFK to London quite recently, and I could not communicate.
Yes.
The words were just not coming out. So, with the tools that I had, okay, I recorded what I wanted to say. And when I got to the airport, I showed it to the booth, the terminal that I was supposed to fly out of.
Yeah.
And then they were able to understand. Now, digital accessibility. It is actually a human right, as I said before. It is your right to have information, have access to information, to be heard, and also to be listened to. It is your right, and it is also my right. So, I'm trying to say that in a very kind of like jovial manner. That that in our very part of the world, we are very comfortable with what we see.
Yes.
We don't think about the other kind of disabilities like myself.
Thank you, AJ. Thank you very much. I would like to go quickly to Mark. I know time is flying. Mark, what do you use?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. So first of all, I'm Mark Kuria, and there are a few. Okay, my journey in tech and AI and all these things comes after a road accident which left me quadriplegic. This happened 3 years ago, 5th December 2021. And I was quite an independent guy, didn't want help from almost everyone. And so I had to dive into this world, and there's a lot.
Yeah.
And with this, I can, first of all, there are some things I want to highlight from the whole conference, is that there have been shared a lot of tools and apps and everything, but it was quite challenging to figure out what I'm going to present, and but I got something that I'll show you. So here's how a day in my life would look like as a quadriplegic. So looking in the morning you can consider you wake up and you have Amazon or Google Home Assistant who, with just a simple task like good morning, it's going to run a whole morning routine. This is opening your curtains, adjusting your bed mattress, raising your bed, bringing your wheelchair close. Maybe if you have a caregiver, they're going to get an alert that you've woken up. And when your alarm has gone on, you don't have to keep on running after the phone. You can just tell it to go off, and that's it. So you'll have found like you've done your whole morning routine by just with one simple command. So I call it the invisible arm because it's invisible. So that is the first thing. And then for the personal hygiene, you would go for a tool like rewalk, or maybe, for the physical hygiene, for the physical hygiene would have Jaco arm. This is a robotic arm which is AI integrated to help you like brush, face, all those things. Also, you have Seeing for Microsoft, which will help you read whatever you need to. Then we have for physiotherapy, you would go for Wondercraft or Rewalk. You have, with that link, if you scan it, you're going to get, you then click on the first link there. It's going to provide you a YouTube playlist that I have put together for this conference. So it has like all these tools that I'm talking about, and you will get a picture or understanding of what I'm talking of. So you have Mayo Pro and also FitMe. So with FitMe, just needs to scan you, and then with assistance from physiotherapists across the world, they would help you with your exercises as a person with disability and even the able-bodied. Then we have at work, so you get to work. You have Okeana and Lucy. So Lucy is mostly put around the wheelchair and would let you know when you're almost hitting something, and even would help you moving around. So then we have for productivity, you have Toby, the eye tracker. You don't need to keep on touching your devices. Then we have AI rights. We have Copilot, Gemini, and all those. All these tools have been shared. So then after work, you can get home and use your accessible or adaptive Xbox and talk to your home devices to switch on Netflix and all those things. Then for mental health, you can go with Yappa or Wisa. These are AI diaries and journals. You just need to open and talk to your device. So for the whole conference, I realized that we were getting off track on time, and there are tools out there which can be integrated maybe in the next registration, because I'm sure everyone here registered and you got an email. So the moment you get an email, you just need to click a link and it integrates automatically to your calendar, and then you're going to get alerts on what session is happening. It is happening at this place, it's happening at this time, these are the speakers, this is the agenda, and this is everything. So those are just a few. And then you might ask, what do all these things do to you? So first of all, my presentation have been helped to put together by different models. I've used Gemini, I've used GPT, and I've used, what's the other one? And I've used Grok. So this is how I do it. I first of all need to be familiar with the strength of each and each design prompt for each. So this is how I communicate with Gemini, GPT, and Grok. After the whole communication comes the other question. What comes first? Is it the cognitive thinking or is it the AI? So since I'm already aware of that, I always go first in with my idea. This is what I want. This is how I'd want it. This is how I'd want it to look. So I'll feed it with all that, and then it's going to help me curate something amazing. I'll combine all these things, and then I'll have now the final output, which has integrated my thoughts and everything. So what are the risks? Let me okay.
Okay. Sorry, I'm rushing with time, and I'll go to Kihembo. Kihembo.
So Kihembo is using a text-to-speech function. So he types on his phone and is able to communicate.
I'm Kihembo Wilbert from Uganda. I'm not the best at describing myself, but here's a try. I'm chocolate-skinned, living with cerebral palsy, which comes with nonverbal and mobility challenges. Today, I'm dressed casually, wearing a blue-black top with black blazer on top, a soft black pair of trousers, dark blue socks, and open shoes. Hope I painted the picture well enough. Professionally, I serve as the youth officer for the Commonwealth Disabled People's Forum, CDPF. I also work with Embrace International Foundation as an ICT consultant. where I coordinate various programs and led tech-based solutions aimed at inclusive education and accessibility. Being nonverbal, I mainly communicate via text. So when you hear a voice coming from my phone, that's my message being read out loud, a powerful example of how AI is reshaping accessibility. For me, AI is not just a convenience, it's a lifeline, a true game changer. As a software engineer with mobility limitations, AI has significantly transformed the way I work. Tasks that once took me months, like writing thousands of lines of code, can now be done faster and more creatively. I focus more on the design, bugs, logic and concept, while AI helps bring it to life. We call it vibe coding, a smooth collaboration between my ideas and the machine's capabilities. Tools like Cursor, Windsurf, and others make this process not just efficient, but empowering. Writing is also a big part of what I do. AI supports me there too. I use it mindfully, not to speak for me, but to extend my voice. It helps me structure my thoughts, express myself clearly, and most importantly, save time, especially since I type slowly. Even with AI's help, my tone, personality, and message remain fully mine. AI just helps me deliver it better. In all these ways, AI allows me to participate, contribute, and thrive, just like anyone else. That's the true power of inclusive technology. I'm Kihembo Wilbert from Uganda. I'm not the best at describing myself, but here's a try. I'm
Amazing, amazing, amazing. We all can see the power of AI and how persons with disabilities are benefiting from AI tools. And I know we are out of time, but I would urge all of you, there is a way to contribute even to the disability community. You can become volunteer in most of these applications. Go online, look for Be My Eyes. It's a virtual, it's more human interaction of seeing AI that I earlier demonstrated. Yes, that was us using AI, and AI is the future, and the future is here. Let's embrace it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the AI demo by the young people with disabilities. We wanted to make sure that you get to experience some of the AI solutions that are out there, because there's a lot of negative information about AI, negative perceptions, but I think that as a disability community, we have to figure out how we have to stay ahead of the curve. We will not ignore the negative stuff that comes in with AI. We know that, including security and stuff like that. But the bottom line is we have to make sure if there's a chance that we can take advantage of AI, then it's important for us to stay ahead of the curve. And that's why the other day I mentioned that when it comes to AI literacy or education for everyone in any company, from the leadership all the way to the bottom, is really, really mandatory. It's important because if you're going to be designing programs, or you're going to be offering jobs, or you're going to be offering educational tools, we have to understand what does this AI disruption mean to everything that we do. So for this panel here, actually we didn't want it to be a disability panel. We wanted nothing to do with disability. We wanted those who are out there to give us an idea of what's going on with the AI. So what I'll do is we have 30 minutes because of time. So we'll start by a quick round of introduction, then we can move forward. So maybe Bernard, as we move forward.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bernard Chiira. I am the CEO and founder of AT4D, and I usually summarize what we do in 2 words: enabling people. We are a legacy organization, but also pioneers of Innovate Now, which is Africa's first assistive tech accelerator that has been working in this area to bring relevant assistive technology solutions in Africa, by Africans, for Africa. And it's been a journey. I'm usually so proud when I see all these entrepreneurs every year exhibiting at Inclusive Africa. So I'm really glad to be here, and I'll be sharing more. Thank you, Irene.
Thank you. 30 seconds for introduction, everybody. Thank you, David.
Hi. Oh, that's loud. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm David. I'm here with the Equitable AI Alliance, which is an initiative of the Zero Project based in Vienna in Austria. The Alliance is a consortium of technology companies, disabled persons organizations, academics, and individuals with disabilities who want to ensure the opportunities of AI are made available to people. And congratulations on our last panel, who I think listed so many, but also recognize the risks, the challenges, and how we mitigate and address those. You are not the audience we should be speaking to. You are the audience who need to be out speaking to AI developers and those implementing AI to make sure that that message is amplified and that we make a difference.
Hi everyone, my name is Lavender Birike. I'm the co-founder, CEO of Climate 360, where we are using AI to drive financial inclusion. Right now we are working on risk modeling using satellite data to avail financial products to those who are excluded, like farmers. I'm also a fellow of the Global Leadership Program that takes leaders to Silicon Valley to make sure that we are learning and we are part of the development of AI solutions in Africa.
Hello, everybody. My name is Enoch Acheampong. I am from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Ghana. I work with the Department of Health Promotion and Disability Studies. We are training the next generation of disability and rehabilitation practitioners. And then at the Responsible Artificial Lab, we call it REAL, Artificial Intelligence Lab. We're currently working on 3 projects: SciTalk, iWheel, and then IC. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we'll start off with Lavender. What needs to happen in policy, education, and investments to advance ethical, inclusive AI in Africa?
Thank you for that question. We are currently sitting at a place where the continent needs to be very proactive in participating in the AI revolution to make sure that Africa is not left behind, both in the space of inclusion and also in the space of innovation. So policy-wise, we want to see more of the government and policy leaders participating in developing the necessary regulations that will make AI not only accessible, but also enable innovation to grow in that aspect. Education-wise, we see a lot of skills gap that are happening all across availability of data, modeling of data, with talents like data scientists, the software development talents. So we have a huge gap to fill as a continent. We're just training a lot of AI talent to be able to catch up with what is happening at global scale. So we'd love to see more initiatives both from government and also from the education side to address the policy gap and the skill gap.
Okay, fantastic. It's interesting. I was having a conversation with someone, and they explained how policy and any legislation for AI should come a few years from now after we've experimented in AI, instead of it coming before. And the reason was that it kills innovation and creativity. I'm not sure how true that is. We can debate about it. But it's interesting to hear you say that because there are different schools of thought. So thank you. Yeah. Sorry, David, you want to say something on that? You were shaking your head?
No, that was me nodding.
Yeah, you agree? You actually agree?
So yeah.
You agree?
I think we're at the very early stage of a revolution. And I think what we need to know now is where is this going, what's the direction, what's the impact. I think we do need to regulate, but to regulate too rigidly might be a mistake if we do it too early.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. So I think I'll move over to Bernard with one question for you. Is there a risk of a digital divide with everything being developed in the West and not Africa? And David, you can chime in after him.
The simple answer is yes. But the more complex answer is unpacking what that actually means. And I think this is not unique to just this topic. When it comes to access, when it comes to things like technology, the idea of a digital divide has been there for a long time. And it's, I think, been understood mostly from the fact that there are demographics that do not have equal opportunity. But foundationally, the ideas that come with technology at the root cause, at their center or at their purpose, they are usually built with good intentions. Intentions to equalize people. So when you look at things like the internet, essentially the internet is for everybody, everywhere, but it's not, because there are costs related to that, to accessing it. But the technology itself is an equalizer. And I think that's how we ought to start looking at some of these issues that have elements of risk and dividing people, to understand then it's not just a geography issue. It's actually where resources are going and who's prioritizing those resources to go to the right place. So many times conversations or like discussions around the West versus the rest are a bit skewed, because then we don't usually follow the money and investment priorities. And sometimes when I see this analogy of being left behind being fronted so many times, I like to think of a race. I mean, if people are racing, whether it's a marathon or a short sprint, if an athlete is being left behind, there is something that has happened to that athlete. And that's what we ought to address. So I think in this context of AI, we need to address the true barriers, because some of them have nothing to do with AI. They just have to do with lack of equal opportunity, especially when it comes to persons with disability.
Thank you. Very well said. David, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, just a little. I mean, I think completely agree with everything Bernard said. But what I would add is that digital divide around AI is already here and it's happening today. In terms of responding to that, unless we have inclusive data sets, and those data sets reflect the diversity in Africa of age, gender, different languages, different cultures, of people with disabilities, then the applications that are built upon those data sets will not fully represent people in Africa, and will become dependent on data sets that are generated in the United States or Europe. And that's a huge risk, not just for people with disabilities in Africa, but much, much more widely within the entire community. But I think it's definitely exacerbated by disability, because by its very nature, we are the outliers in the data sets. And when we're the outliers, we don't get represented fully, and then hence impacting. So that we have to start, I think, by how do we ensure that the data of people in Africa is included in data sets, and that's going to have to start with development in Africa, because it's not going to happen anywhere else by accident.
Thank you. And this really gives me a good transition to the next question because it's about, and Lavender, you can jump on this one, how can we ensure African languages, cultures, identities are truly represented in the AI databases and systems? We know currently the answer is not yet. And AI has been here for a long time. It's just that most of us think AI just appeared. No, it's been here for a long time. It's just that in the last 1 year, if you remember when we had Inclusive Africa, we had an AI session. There was barely anything out there. But since then, we've had all these AI models, ChatGPT, Gemini, everything else, Copilot, out there. So it's a huge, huge transition in the last 1 year. So my question to you is, with the way AI is moving so quickly, how can we make sure African languages are represented, cultures, in the right way?
A good answer to that is quite straightforward and something that needs to be pushed more, which is more funding going into these areas of research. We were in San Francisco last month and we were able to use an autonomous vehicle called Waymo. I don't know if some of you have heard of it. So basically, these are self-driving cars that are going across different areas in the US. And this research has been going on for decades just for that specific car to be on the road. So if you're playing the game of catch up as a continent, you can imagine you're catching up over 20 years of research going into that one single technology. So one thing we need to push for is a lot of investments to go into this space. Data sets are very essential. And when you're talking about African languages, we have, for example, a country like Nigeria has tons of African languages. Kenya has tons of African languages. So the only way that we can leapfrog is if we intentionally invest in young innovators, in research, and make sure that this is able to be done. So there's no shortcuts other than to really raise the bar and make sure that you're able to catch up in that regard. And that will open so many possibilities of innovation within languages.
Okay, excellent. Actually, I had an experience as well of driving a self-driving car. And to your point, that's when I realized how far AI has gone. But I also find it to be an opportunity for Africa to sort of learn and leapfrog. We don't have to go through all the crazy budgets, crazy planning the West has gone through, but we can learn from what has been done and see how can we leapfrog and take advantage of what's existing and then build what's our own. So I also find it to be a great opportunity for Africa.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, you have 10 seconds.
Yeah, real quick. So I really want to say something about African languages because I think sometimes we don't get it right because we don't understand the incentives. There's no way there's going to be investment in African languages if Africans don't value their languages. And majority of the young people that are in Africa today have totally ignored their languages. They're speaking English or French. So if people care about these languages, then you build value around them, and then they will attract investment. So before we say AI, let's love our languages.
Thank you. You want to jump in, Enoch?
Yes, I want to add to the issue of how to add the African culture and language to AI. Usually you hear people say AI systems do not include African culture, African languages. My question then is, how do people who develop systems outside our jurisdiction include our language and culture? Systems, digital infrastructure and data systems that are developed are always outside our jurisdiction, but they host and process the information for us to use. And so for us to be able to get our language and our culture in it, it is incumbent on us as a continent to invest hugely in digital infrastructure. Because unless we develop or commit resources to it, we are not going to make headways. Another issue has to do with training and retention of talent. In most cases, we train our people, they get the skills, the talent, but we are not able to retain them. Multilateral companies take them away. Then they go help them develop their systems. So if we want to develop African culture and languages in our data set, we need to be able to retain the talent here so that they can help us because they understand our language, they understand our culture, so that they can be able to help us build it.
Fantastic. I'd like to dig deeper, but I can't because of time. I've been told we have 3 minutes. So I'm going to ask 2 questions. One to Bernard to tell us, Enoch, I know you want to jump in, but unless you do it for 30 seconds, what research is needed in the future that is to guide actions around development of AI? That's for the 2 of you. David, you can let us know, if we look at disability, what are the risks of exclusion in or harm in AI if it's not developed with inclusion in mind? So we have literally less than 3 minutes.
Okay, so yes, research is central to this. And I think what sort of research? First of all, African-led research. And we have to invest resources and money in that research and not necessarily depend on money from elsewhere. And then I would also say inclusive research. If you want research to address the problems of the people that know best about those problems, meaningfully include them in the design, implementation of that research, especially when it comes to persons with disabilities. And we are doing this at the moment with a research study across 3 countries. And this is at the intersection of AI and disability. So we want to understand how are people with disabilities using artificial intelligence, and what would they like to see? What do they want AI to do for them? And present that to people with the resources.
Thank you, Bernard. Enoch, you want to jump in?
Yes, we can look at the pathways between AI and assistive devices so that we can see the connection where we can infuse AI into assistive devices. Then we can help individuals with disability to function well.
Fantastic. David?
I think the exclusion issue is not really about assistive devices. That work we've already heard is going on, and it's going on very well. The biggest challenge is around mainstream AI applications that are being used that should be inclusive of people with disabilities, but in practice are not. So we're seeing in things like human resources employment, AI being used to screen applicants, but it not understanding how people with disabilities respond. So therefore, it grades you lower than a non-disabled person. We've seen it in terms of how productivity in the classroom. Children with disabilities, because they take longer to write out so many sentences, are given a lower grade because they're using assistive technologies to do the writing. And the AI doesn't understand that. So it is those mainstream issues where we run a risk of amplifying the discrimination and bias that people have experienced for decades into a new generation of technology.
Thanks, David. Lavender, closing remarks from you?
Mine will just be a call that inclusivity is beyond AI apps and adding AI to solutions. It's about giving a seat at the table to those who are very crucial in the design and production of AI. So we move away from just consumption of AI to actually producing it.
You just stole my closing remarks. So it's a great, AI brings a great opportunity for the disability community to be part of the creatives, be part of the production, and not just consumers. So with this, I want to say thank you to our amazing panelists. I feel like we should have dug deeper, but unfortunately, I have 2 people here looking at me. So we have to give the stage to the next group. But thank you so much. To be continued.